Hey everyone, back here from our Pat here. Guys, today is an extremely exciting episode for me. It's almost 6 months to the day from when I planted my very first herb in my veggie garden here in Central Florida, and about 5 months since I planted my very first fruit tree. So guys, follow me as I walk through my 6-month-old fruit forest, and I can show you everything that has been growing in my garden so far. Right behind me, just to start, you can see my passion fruit. Guys, right here are my passion fruit. Remember when I moved here first, I had this passion fruit going in on my trellis in my previous garden, and I had cut this back to maybe just a couple, maybe a couple feet off the ground. I cut it back completely, cut it back just to the two stalks. And guys, look at this growth over the past few months. My passion fruit vine is now full of passion fruit again. Guys, this is 6 months of growth. 6 months of new growth. I have passion fruit throughout this trellis. All around the trellis is full of passion fruit. But guys, I'm not even gonna start here. Before I even go into my veggie bed and go into all my fruit trees, let's go check out my island. You remember I planted my island maybe 3 months ago? Let's go check out my island. I'm gonna take you all the way through the garden. There are certain fruit trees that I really wasn't even expecting to get fruit from for the next couple of years, but I have been so pleasantly surprised. So guys, first, let's look at my island. This is my beautiful island, my beautiful oasis that I planted maybe 3 months ago. I would say probably 90% of my island, there were actually the palm trees that already existed. These were obviously the palm trees that were there before. But majority of my plants are free. Just about everything in this island is free. They're either cut-ins from my previous garden or gifts that friends gave me. So first, as you walk into the island, first of all, for you guys who don't remember, you need to go back and look at the original video. This was nothing. This was just some bushy plants, a lot of weeds. There was nothing here. So we got rid of all the plants that I didn't want to keep. We put down some good soil. We put down some weed block, some good soil, and some mulch on top. Then I took a number of different cuttings and different plants and planted them in. So first, you can see on either end, on either side of the island, I have Mo Juan bananas. I think they're a Chinese variety of bananas. These banana trees are going to get very tall, and they're going to give us some good, beautiful big bananas. On the outer side of either of the garden, what I just planted last month, these are new plants. These are my frangipani cuttings. These are from my friend Loy. That tour I did from the 1 acre tour in South Florida, that's Loy. She sent me some cuttings from her garden. Those are frangipani. I put one on either end. And what's going to happen is that these frangipani are going to become big, beautiful flowering trees that are going to be covered with like fuchsia colored flowers. So I'm really looking forward to those. So as you walk into my little path here, I have some amaryllis to the left. These amaryllis are now blossoming for the second time this year. Just 2 months ago, I had some beautiful amaryllis blooms. And what I did was I took the stalk. After it bloomed, I cut it all the way back to the ground. And that encourages it to sprout new blooms. So I got 2 blooms just in like a couple months. I have some hybrid red ginger here. And then here, guys, I have a delicious, beautiful and delicious cranberry hibiscus. So this is this is in the Roselle family, the Roselle family. It's in the same family also as Jamaican sorrel or hibiscus. This is in the hibiscus family. But the leaves are actually very delicious. You can have the leaves in salads, you can eat them raw, you can snack on them. They're packed with antioxidants. They have vitamin B1, B2, B3. This is a very beautiful but a very healthy plant. Also, when it flowers, you can make them into a delicious tea. So this is the cranberry hibiscus. What I'll probably do is cut it back a little bit from the path But what I'll do is dry this and then I'll use this in my teas. On this side, I have my aloe, I have my tuna, which is falling over. I probably need to dig the hole a little bit deeper, plant my tuna in. I have my monstera plant, my monstera deliciosa, which I also got from my friend Diane, a subscriber Diane. She gave me a root, and here that it started leafing out. I also have another one that's in a pot that I think I'm gonna also, I might just keep that one in a pot. Several ground orchids here. These are, you know, different orchids that I pick up, like some are cuttings that I get from friends. But different orchids, they're not all blooming now. The ground orchids, the orange ones are ground orchids. Those are not blooming. But I have several orchids around here. I have my blue porterweed, vervain. This is actually a very powerful medicinal. It's used a lot. They actually use it for COVID treatment. It's used for any kind of lung issues. It's also very good for the nervous system. So this is my blue porterweed plant, or vervain plant. You can Google the benefits. I'll probably put some of the benefits here, but it's a very powerful plant. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I actually wanted it for the flowers, but it's actually a very good medicinal. Here I have my trumpet lily. Hasn't started doing anything yet. One thing I need to tell you guys that we've gone through a really difficult drought period here in Central Florida for the past, I would say, at least 2 months of drought. So a lot of the plants would have probably taken off before. I don't have a sprinkler system, so I've done some watering, but not much. But a lot of the plants have been surviving through the drought, which isn't a bad thing. When you're in a drought period, what the plants will do is that they'll send their roots all the way further down to tap into the groundwater instead of just, surface roots. So it's actually not a bad thing to have a little drought. Here in the middle here, I have my curry leaf plant. So this is different from the curry that we have in Jamaica, which is like the powdered curry. This is more the traditional curry that's used in India. So this is the curry leaf plant. It's a very strong flavor. I actually enjoy it. I'm waiting for mine to get a little bit more leaves before I use it much more. On this side, I have my Thai white guava, which I'm really looking forward to trying this guava. I don't think I've had this guava, but I heard it's very delicious, very fleshy, and very sweet. So this is a Thai white guava. Right beside it, I have my papaya plant, and this is actually a papaya seedling that I got from my brother's garden. Oh look, we have a little visitor to the garden. Hey there. All right, so guys, I want to show you a surprise. I am so excited about this. So guys, I planted this little June plum tree when we moved in. I did not expect this to bear for at least another couple years, but guys, look at this. I have probably like 10 June plums on here. I was very surprised when it started blossoming. It's probably 2 feet tall. I did not expect this, but I have June plums, and I'm super excited that I'm going to be eating June plums this year, the very first year. Over here, you guys remember that lemongrass and sugarcane that I planted a few months ago? Guys, you remember they looked so pathetic, so almost like completely dead. Look at the lemongrass. It is thick, it is abundant. And, this is more lemongrass than I could ever possibly use. Lemongrass is a wonderful, it's wonderful in teas. It's wonderful in recipes. It's great for repelling mosquitoes. And guys, I'm going to teach us a special secret. You can actually cut lemongrass when you're cooking fish. Boil some lemongrass in some water in a pot right beside the fish that you're cooking, and it kills the smell of the fish. So you can cook your fish without worrying about the whole house stinking up. So there's a whole lot of other medicinal benefits, but I'm just telling you guys, lemongrass is great. And guys, look at my peanuts. My peanuts are growing up very well. They have blossomed several times. I know that there are peanuts underground, but I'm not ready to pick them up yet. Along here is my cassava walk. You guys remember in my survival video I did I planted several cassava sticks, and you can see they have bushed out really nicely. As a matter of fact, this cassava is at least 5 feet tall. It's almost my height. So this is about 5 feet tall already. So these cassavas are doing extremely well. These are just the sticks that I had planted in the ground. Right in front here, you can see I have my jackfruit tree here. It could be doing better. It looked like it was struggling a bit, but now that we had a little bit of rain, I'm hoping that the jackfruit will do well. But you know, it's hanging in there, along with all the cassavas. So guys, look at my sweet potatoes. In that same survival video, I showed you where I took the sweet potato, where I planted several little sweet potato vines. And guys, look at it now. The sweet potatoes are already taking off. And these aren't just the purple sweet potatoes. I have white sweet potatoes, orange, of course, purple ones in here. So I have tons of sweet potatoes, and you guys know how much I love these delicious vines. These vines can be used in stir fries. They can be used scrambled with eggs. I use them a lot in my shakes in the morning. I just come out, pull some of the vines, and I use those as my greens. These sweet potato vines are more nutritious than even spinach. So it's something that you've got to try. Right in front of the sweet potato vines, I have my chaya tree spinach that is hanging and is doing really well. With the chaya tree spinach, you cannot eat this raw. This has to be fully cooked. I have not eaten this yet. I'm growing it as food, but I haven't actually eaten it yet. But this has to be thoroughly cooked because I believe the chaya has cyanide in the leaves. So you don't want to eat this without cooking it. It can be very harmful. Then right beside it, this is where I planted my callaloo. And guys, you can see these are like 5 feet tall now, but the worms really got them. You can see the worms really got to this. So I didn't really get to eat much callaloo, but it's okay. I have a ton of seeds, so I will be planting callaloo for years to come just from these seeds. So I'm allowing these seeds to dry, and then I'm gonna harvest these seeds, and I'm gonna be planting tons of callaloo for years to come. Not only that, but these seeds, you can see, all those little seeds are gonna fall right here in place, and I'm gonna have a permanent callaloo patch. So, as a matter of fact, I also have some additional okras growing behind it. I have like 3 okra plants growing behind the callaloo. So once I chop those down, the okras will grow up, and they'll take over. So again, here I have a ton more of sweet potato vines, and guys, you can see just from those few sweet potato vines I planted a couple of months back, those sweet potatoes have totally taken over. These are all mainly purple, but different color and different varieties of sweet potatoes. So the wonderful thing about the sweet potato and the cassava, I don't have to harvest the whole thing. Of course, my family could not eat the whole thing at one time, but we can harvest what we need when we need it. And we'll have a ton of sweet potatoes for years to come. Right beside it, I have my papaya tree, and I believe, let me check. I believe this is a female. I think I saw some female flowers coming out. Yes, this is a female papaya. It is a female tree, so I am gonna be getting some yummy papayas pretty soon. This is a really healthy, very good tree. So I wouldn't be surprised if I get papayas within this year. Along here we have some more cassava cuttings. This is from my friend Jackie's cassava harvest that we did. I planted some of her cassava sticks along here. And then right here, I have a very special banana tree from my friend Lorraine. This was literally just a root, and literally just a root. And I nursed it, put chicken compost on it, and look at this beautiful tree now. We didn't know it was gonna make it, but now it's a beautiful banana tree, and I cannot wait to taste these bananas. Lorraine told me that these are very special bananas. They're very delicious. I don't know what the name is, but I sure am looking forward to eating these bananas. Then along here, um, right by my red coat plum tree, well actually this one all along, I purchased a yellow coat plum tree. That's what I paid for. All along I thought it was a yellow coat plum, but lo and behold, I had my first plum yesterday and it was a red coat plum. So, you know, false advertising. Thought I bought a yellow coat, but it's actually a red coat. But I'm okay with it. Either way, it's a good plum. Unfortunately, I have a lot of lizards. See that lizard that just ran off? So I thought the lizards are harmless, but the lizards have been eating my plums. So several of my plums have bites in them. So that's not a good thing. Anyway, the plum tree is healthy. There are lots of plums on it, so at least I know it's a good tree. I just planted several other plum trees from cuttings. This is a red coat plum. This was just a stick like 2 weeks ago, and you can see it's fully leafed out right now. So that's a red coat, and then here is a yellow coat, also planted from sticks. So this is going to be like a hog plum walk. As a matter of fact, I may stick another yellow coat plum in here now that I know that one is a red coat. So I have two red coats. I want to have two yellow coats. At the end is another frangipani. I'll figure out how I'm gonna work this. The frangipani I know will grow up and then spread out. I don't really mind if the hog plum trees are crowded. My friend Gail, she has hers very close together, and they grow together and they grow fine. So I think it will work. And of course, can't forget my avocado. So my avocado is looking healthy, and it's just now beginning to branch out. At first I felt like things weren't growing because, you know, as I said, we've been through an extreme drought. But just in the 1 week of rain, we see significant growth. This is another avocado tree, and you can see significant growth coming from it. Here we have a katuk, which can be eaten like spinach. And guys, look, guys, this is so exciting. Guys, this is my gungo peas or pigeon peas or gandules. So this is about 5 feet tall. These are my gandules that I planted from seeds several months ago. They were tiny for the longest time, and now they're growing. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 gandules. Right here I have a fig, and here I have my Jamaican cherries. And just like I would say 4 days ago, this was laden with blossoms, but you can see most of the blossoms have fallen off now, but there are a couple cherries that are beginning to form. So I'm looking forward to tasting these cherries. The tree is still very small. It's a very small bush. I got this for $13 at Lowe's. I'm extremely happy that it's already trying to give me fruit. Here's another gandules. This was actually mowed down by mistake by the lawn guy, but it's about a foot tall now, so it's growing back nicely. Over here we have our soursop tree, and this is a new bed that I created. I planted some malanga in here. They haven't come up yet. I planted a couple of malanga, and this one here is like a flowering plant, a shrimp plant that hasn't started flowering yet, but that's a shrimp plant. So what I plan on doing is all the way along the fence, I'm just gonna cover this with mulch and plant different flowering plants and food in here. So this is one of my favorite fruits. This is oti apple. This is the oti apple. This was actually had lost all its leaves, but it's greening up very nicely. So I'm hoping that, you know, that will continue to grow. Over here is another Barbados cherry, another cherry tree. No blossoms yet. So the smaller $13 one from those is already blossoming. This one hasn't blossomed yet, but I have no doubt this will blossom and give me lots of yummy fruits. And guys, oh my gosh, guys, look at this. Oh my goodness, I see it. It's actually covered with scale, so I'm gonna have to come back in and treat this. This is actually a very bad scale infestation, and this is why it's good to look at your plants. You can see the scale, it's actually looks like little bumps on the stem. This is a very, very bad scale infection. What scale does, it actually sucks the life out of the plant. So that could be why it's not blossoming. I was just bad mouthing the poor cherry tree, saying it hasn't blossomed. And you see those ants, those bees, those bees are probably eating the scale. But yeah, definitely I'll go back and treat this. On this side we have another banana tree from my friend Lorraine, and here are some cassava sticks that I got from that cassava harvest. I just haven't put those in the ground yet, but you can see even though it's in the pot, they're already all leafing out. Behind it you see some more cassava that I planted in. But before I go over to the other side, guys, I do not want to miss this. So here's my little ackee tree. I have my little ackee tree here. That's very healthy. The leaves are beautiful. Now that it's beginning to rain, it's gonna leaf out really nicely. And this is the little island that I created. Before we had a little well in the middle. You can see we have the two little well, well rods. But around it, these are actually the lobster plants. So if you guys watched my video a few months back, I took, my sister had a lobster plant that was completely dried up. All that was left was just roots. I took the roots, broke them up, and I planted several roots. Just basically the tubers, the roots in the ground. And you can see I have several lobster plants growing up. And guys, this little bed is going to be spectacular. I'm going to have the beautiful lobster plants growing in the middle. Then all the way around it, from one pot, I got probably 30 different hostas. And you can see the hostas have come up. So I'm going to have beautiful hostas around the edge with orange flowers. It has like a tall, 4 foot tall orange flower. Then I'm going to have my lobster claws. Here are a couple moringa plants that a friend was supposed to come and get. They never got it. That's probably going to go into the ground. And over here I have more hostas, and you can see more of the lobster claws growing up. I'm not sure if the lobster claws will actually bloom this year. They probably won't bloom till next year, but guys, they are well worth the wait. Wanted to show you this other side of my island. Guys, I have sugar apple, or what we Jamaicans call sweet sop. So my sweet sop tree is leafing out nicely. I see a lot of little blossoms are coming up. You see right there, that's a blossom here. There's a blossom that's already opened up. With sugar apple, it's very, very tricky because they have a male flower and a female flower. The male flowers open at one point in the day. The female flower, which is like this one right here, opens at another time of the day. And the pollen has to go from the male flower to the female flower in order for this to work. So because the same flower is male and then female, literally you have to have ants or pollinators going from the male flower, then going to a female flower in order to get it to pollinate. What I've done in the past is hand pollinated these. I had basically 100% success when I hand pollinated. I haven't done it yet for this tree. Now that the rainy season is coming up, I think I will definitely go in and hand pollinate some of these. Here is another sugar apple. This is a much smaller tree. This was a tiny little seedling, but it's coming along nicely. Alright, so let's go on to the rest of the garden. Right here I have a naseberry. This is from seed. This is from my brother's tree. He has the absolute best naseberries on earth. On earth. He has a dwarf naseberry tree. It bears 24/7, 365 days a year. So I got one of his seeds, I planted it, and I'm hoping I'll have the same success. Here we have a regular naseberry tree. I've had several blossoms on here. Nothing has become fruit yet. And I know normally naseberries, they practice for a few years before they actually hold fruit. And mine certainly has been practicing for several months now. It's been blossoming. None has held yet, but I'm not discouraged, because if it doesn't bear this year, it will bear next year. Here, just some random flowers, some pineapples. Here you can see some of the cocoa malanga that I planted. This one is actually a cut-in. just a cutting of a malanga. You guys check out my malanga video, malanga or cocoa or taro root. Check out that video that I did a couple weeks ago. Well, actually a few days ago, where I showed you how I planted my malanga from our cocoa from slices. This one is a giant cocoa. It's a slice that I planted. You can see it already has a leaf. I actually made the video a few weeks back, but I'm gonna post it. By the time you watch this video, it would have been posted maybe just a few days ago. Alright, so I skipped a couple trees. We can't miss out on our mulberry tree. So I have mulberry, tons of mulberry on my mulberry tree. So this mulberry tree was giving me a whole lot of problem. I had to use some copper fungicide because it had some leaf spot disease. I was able to overcome that. The mulberries are a bit small, but you know what? I'm not complaining. The tree is still small and it's giving me mulberries. I have tons of mulberries throughout the tree. A few of them are beginning to ripen now, so the leaf spot is a lot better. I use copper fungicide and it's doing a whole lot better. Then guys, hello, looky here guys. These are my cherry mangoes. My cherry mango tree has 5 huge cherry mangoes. They're still hard, they're not ready yet. Squeezing them every other day. I squeeze them just to see. They're not ready yet, but I cover them with these bags so that I will get to enjoy them. Not the squirrels, not any, rabbits or anything. I'll get to enjoy those delicious cherry mangoes. Back here, I planted some more malanga, some blue porter weed. So everything is kind of on the ground. The little greens that you see there are actually cerci, which, that's just wild bush. Here I have my papaya, and you can see this is also a female papaya, and you can tell by the blossom, the single blossom that's coming off from the trunk. That's a female papaya. So I'm very happy. This tree is about 7 feet tall. I haven't gotten a fruit yet, so I'm hoping to get some fruit from that. Over here I have my blackberry that I took out of the pot. I finally planted it in the ground. Here is a tuna plant. I'm gonna transplant it. I stuck this here, but this is a tuna. You can use it in your hair. It's a aloe in the aloe family. And then here finally have some new growth on my Bombay Julie mango tree. Over here is my other purple passion fruit, and it's literally growing all across the trellis. This was like a little tiny plant, guys. This was like a 2-foot plant in the ground. I literally just put it in the ground. It was in a pot before. It has bloomed several times, but for some reason the blooms continue to drop. I'm hoping it's because it's the first season, and it might just not be strong enough to hold the blooms. All right, so let's go look and see our veggie garden. So guys, I've already showed you my purple passion fruit that I walk under every day, and they're just laden with these beautiful fruit everywhere. So I'm gonna get quite a few purple passion fruit from my trees. So over here, oh, actually before I go in here, let me show you my little bed over here. So these are my okra. I planted 3 okra seeds, and you can see there it's really strange. It's one little bed. The ones that are not getting as much water are huge. Then these 3 were planted at the same time, but I know all 3 will grow and give me okra. And I just planted a couple more okra seedlings. Right directly in front of it, I planted my ginger. These are ginger. I planted organic ginger roots. And then directly in front of it is turmeric. I have a lot of turmeric growing here. So I'm really utilizing my space. Over here I have some ackee seedlings, a lot of bell peppers and other things, a lot of elderberries that I'm growing. Those are elderberries right there that I'm growing cuttings that are doing really well. So over here my herb garden is popping guys. Look at this oregano. I cannot eat enough of this oregano. It's so good. Oregano has become like one of my favorites now. So have a ton of oregano. I have my ton of thyme. We Jamaicans love our thyme. I have my okra growing up along the center. So I have like 4 okra plants along the center. I just planted a couple more okra seedlings because I want even more to grow up. And all my Cuban oregano, my thyme, my sage, my curly leaf parsley, my rosemary, everything is still growing well. You can see how thick and healthy my herbs are growing. So those are still growing really well. My dill, I meant to pull those out. I haven't pulled them out yet. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna harvest all those seeds and I'll have dill for life. Over this side, this bed is, I don't have much growing in here yet. Or right now, I already harvested a whole bunch of other greens that I had growing. But I do have some comfrey here, some pineapple mint, and my blue porterweed or my vervain going here. Then of course these were all grown from seed. These marigolds are so beautiful, grown from seed. Then over here, my tomatoes are still going strong, guys, believe it or not. I have had a really rough time with the leaf-footed bugs, the leaf-footed nymph. They have been eating these raw, as well as the bishop, which is like the green. It looks like a leaf-footed nymph, but it's green. Those have been just really, really giving my tomatoes a raw time. Also, I've had some hornworms. So I've been really battling the tomatoes, but I have consistently gotten tomatoes. Last week I had a party, a graduation party for my sons, and all the tomatoes that were served with the salads were all from the garden. So I'm still getting tomatoes. Here I have some string beans that I just planted maybe 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. But they're doing very well. I just planted these two, also string beans, maybe less than a week ago, and they're coming up already. Here I have some eggplants. Here I have some more eggplants. They're all blossoming out, ready to give me some eggplants. On this side, I have my massive, beautiful, absolutely beautiful basil. Everybody who comes here, they're like, what are you doing? How do you get healthy basil? Because I know in the past I had a whole lot of trouble keeping my basil healthy. But what I can tell you I do is I make sure I water the ground around the basil, not the leaves. Because normally when there's black splash onto the leaves, that's when you get the brown spot and when you have a lot of problems. But so far, my basil is beautiful. And as you can see, my tomatoes are still blooming a lot. What I may do, I think I'm going to do pretty soon, is I'm going to cut the tops off and probably, just start them in water or start them in a new pot so I can have more tomatoes coming up. My black cherry tomatoes have been really struggling with the disease. You can see right there, that nymph is literally in it, eating it as we speak. So they've been really giving trouble, but I've got my fair share. But it's a constant battle. Here, these are all volunteers. These are sweet potatoes. Here we have some beautiful white yams. These are white yams that have grown and they have held onto the trellis and they have grown all the way across. I have multiple white yams that are growing from this, I would call this a compost area where they've grown up. Here I have either turmeric or it could be a beautiful purple flower. If it flowers, I'm gonna try and dig it up and transplant it. I believe this could be a flower that somehow got in here. And I did have some nasturtiums that were flowering recently. You can see them here. So, but I'll leave it there. Nasturtiums are great. All right, so let's see what else we have. All right, my other part of my bed. You can see my jalapeno pepper here is doing extremely well. And I'm actually gonna harvest some jalapenos because I have kept these on way too long. They're beginning to split. So I've gotten some pretty massive jalapenos here. And my son loves to make salsa and I love to eat his salsa. So I think we're gonna use these peppers for salsa. And then here I have some Scotch bonnets that my friend Diane, she gave me some little tiny seedlings, and guys, look, they're already blossoming. I already have some blossoms on my Scotch bonnet seedlings, so I'm really excited about that. Here I have some spinach, and over here, guys, look at my Scotch bonnet. It is laden, 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 laden. Every inch of my Scotch bonnet tree has Scotch bonnets, so I'm super happy, and I have even more growing now. All right, so let's see what the girls are doing. Let's see if they'll come out and say hi. Hey, girls. Hey, come say hi. Come and say hi. Hi. Say hi. How you guys doing? You guys chilling out? Yeah, so this one is my rooster. His name is Manayad. And then this is the second one that I thought was a rooster, but no, I'm thinking she's a girl. So her name is Miss Pinky. She has like her home is a bit like crooked to the side, and she's a lot more malnatured. Her waddle at the bottom is a lot smaller than Manayad. You see, his is a lot more pronounced. I haven't heard her crow, so I'm thinking she's a girl. She's just a big girl. So that's Miss Pinky. That one over there. Hey, Manayad. That one there is Manayad. He's wonderful. So I haven't named the other two yet. The red one, the Rhode Island Red, I've named that one brown stew, but I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna eat it. But I call that one brown stew. But I think I'm gonna keep my rooster. If it's one rooster, and I think he's absolutely beautiful. You know, look at him. Look at that look. Look at that face. I don't think I could eat him. So I think I'm gonna keep my rooster. So that's my family. You guys give me suggestions for names for the one that I'm calling Bronx. You know, I guess I should call it something different since I'm not gonna eat it. Okay, so here is my pimento tree. I am so proud of this, guys. This is my pimento or my allspice tree, and look how healthy and beautiful it looks. I just bought this. I paid $35 for it, but it's worth every penny. For those of you who know jerk chicken, if you've been to Jamaica and had jerk chicken, the traditional jerk chicken is made from pimento wood. So I'm hoping my pimento tree will soon get very big and be able to provide us pimento wood. My husband is the best jerk cooker or whatever griller. He's the absolute best. This is my starfruit tree. It hasn't really done much. We'll see how it does, but so far it hasn't done much. Here are all my different cuttings, and guys, look, this is my cocoa. This is my cocoa. Look how big it has gotten in the past few weeks since my last cocoa video. So these are all my cocos that I planted, the actual whole Edo. And then here are some cuttings. All of these are different cuttings that I took from my friend's tree or my previous home that I'm going to be planting throughout the garden. Here is my grape tree, my grapevine. I need to actually put it on a trellis, but that's a grapevine. It's doing very well. And guys, look at this beauty. I have guavas, guys. This is my Mexican guava. I have several guavas growing in here, so I am very happy with my Mexican guava. Still a small tree, but it's giving me fruit. Here we have some blueberries, some more blueberries, and I'll go to the front and show you my strawberry tree. Alright, so walking to my strawberry tree, and this had to stop to show you my beautiful hibiscus. These rainbow hibiscus are so beautiful. These are all planted from after I moved here. This is a honeysuckle. It's not bearing right now, but let me show you what I have. Jamaican this is a Jamaican chrysanthemum tree over there. This is a lychee tree. It was really struggling after I put some chicken compost on it, chicken manure. But then now it has several new leaves since the rain. So I'm hoping it is obviously coming back. And guys, look at my Jamaican strawberry tree. It is, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so healthy. Guys, look at these leaves. It's so beautiful. And let me show you what the Jamaican strawberries look like. So these are called Jamaican cherries or strawberry tree. And I just planted this a few months ago. And you can see it's already full of, these are called Jamaican cherries or strawberry tree. So obviously it's not the real cherries that we eat in Jamaica. What we eat in Jamaica is really what people know as Barbados cherry. But this is called the Jamaican strawberry tree. This is absolutely delicious. I ate my first one today. I got my first ripe one today. It was it's very sweet. It tastes almost like cotton candy. It's almost like you're eating a little piece of cotton candy. So this is really really good. Next time I get one ripe, I'll show it to you guys. But I popped it in my mouth so fast, and then my cousin said, "Hey, you should have recorded it." But hey, next time you'll see it. But that's my Jamaican strawberry tree. This, I'm almost thinking this would have been great by the chicken coop because it's a very fast growing tree, and this is also great shade. So let me show you what else we have in the front. So over here I have a tree, can't remember what country it's from. I think it's from the Philippines. It's called the Atolfo mango. And you can see this also is blossoming, sending out new leaves. It's a Atolfo mango tree. And then over here I have a couple coconuts that I planted from the coconut, the actual coconut. And here I have elderberry plants. Over here I have a bougainvillea. It's purple. It was blooming before. Now that it's beginning to rain, I'm hoping it blooms some more. And over here I have my gardenia that has been consistently blooming. Just about a month ago, every inch of this tree was covered with blossoms. Now the blossoms are drying up, but oh my goodness, the scent is still incredible. My gardenia. All right, so let's see what else we have. I think I forgot to show you guys my East Indian mango tree. So I was really beginning to question this tree because there was not 1 ounce of growth in the months that I planted it. And then all of a sudden, guys, all of this is new growth. All of this is new growth. So there is still hope for my East Indian mango tree. I'm just hoping that it actually tastes like East Indian, because my sister got an East Indian mango tree and she was so disappointed the first year it bore that it obviously wasn't East Indian. Now, of course, when you're buying something, you just have to trust the person you're buying it from. Be sure to buy from a reputable source, because you know hers. As a matter of fact, it's the same source that I bought what I thought was my yellow coat tree from, but it's actually a red coat. So just be careful when you're buying, so you don't buy something and get disappointed. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you enjoyed that garden tour. I sure did. It's just wonderful to see all that's happening at the backyard farm. And guys, I'm just so excited to see what is to come. But if you enjoyed it, guys, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Drop a comment. Let me know. Let me know what else you think I should be growing here. You know, there is still a little bit of space. What I have coming up, I plan on building a chicken run for my chickens, because I'm gonna be clipping their flight feathers so they can fly away. But I think I want to start letting them out. They said it's best to keep the chickens in for at least 4 to 5 months before you let them out, but I think they are ready to explore backyard farm. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks, clipping the wings and then building some kind of outdoor space for them to be like a big playpen for them to be able to hang out outdoors. Anyway, guys, till next time, go out and plant a seed today. Go out, and if you don't want to plant a seed, buy a little starter plant at Home Depot, at Lowe's, wherever, at your local nursery. Plant something today, guys. 6 months you can be eating from your garden. In 2 months you can be eating from your garden. Just go out and start today. Till next time, bye now. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Got a lot more going out there to show you. Till next time, bye now.